All right, good afternoon, class. We're on lesson 54, dividing multiples of 10. And let's get started with our objectives. So today, you should be able to divide by two-digit numbers that are multiples of 10. Also, estimate a quotient using compatible numbers, and divide dollars and cents by a multiple of 10. Here's our joke of the day, provided by Lily. Why did the teacher wear dark glasses? And it is because her pupils were giving her a headache. There's no vocab today, but just to make sure that you're doing your flipping, I want you to write your teacher's name in the blanks for vocab, okay? So if you're in Miss Cooley's class, go ahead and write down Miss Cooley and Miss Chabonian. And then if you are in my class, go ahead and write down Mr. B and Miss Orlando's. All right, here's your new concept for today. It looks funny, but in this lesson, we begin to divide by two-digit numbers that are multiples of 10. Multiples of 10 are the numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. In later lessons, we practice dividing by other two-digit numbers, and we can continue to follow the four steps of the division algorithm: divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. The divide step is more difficult when dividing by two-digit numbers because we may not quickly recall two-digit multiplication facts. So to help us divide by a two-digit number, we may think of dividing by the first digit only. Okay, so we don't typically know our 30s. Okay, but so what we're gonna do is, instead of thinking about 30, let's look at the 3. Okay. And then let's see, 3 and a 7. How many times do you think 3 could go in a 7? Well, I know that 2 times 3 is 6, so I'm saying 2, right? And so what we're going to do is, okay, 30 can go into 75. We're going to try first 2 times, okay, because 3 can go into 7 twice, and so maybe 30 can go into 75 twice, okay? And so we do 2 times 30, which is 60, and that's what we have here. We subtract and we get 15. Now 15, since it's smaller than 30, we can't do any more division here, right? And so that 15 becomes our remainder. So our answer is 2 remainder 15. Okay, notice when we place a 2, where we place the 2. Okay, so on here, we place it above the 5. Okay, we're not dividing it to the 7. We are dividing it to the 75. Okay, so 30 goes into 75, not 30 goes into 7. Okay, we're just using the 3 and the 7 as a way to figure out if this is divisible or not. Okay, and so it's really important that you place the digits in the quotient properly. So in the quotient spot, you must put these digits in the right spot, or else what happens is you get out of whack and you end up adding or dividing more numbers than you should. Okay, so 30 into 75, the 2 goes here over the 5, not the 2. So here's our first example. The staff arranged 454 chairs in the school gymnasium. Each row of the arrangement contained 30 chairs, except the last row. How many complete rows of chairs are in the arrangement? How many chairs are in the last row? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the division the division algorithm. 30 going into 454. Now 30 can't go into 4, so we go 30 goes into 45, and we got to think in our heads, okay, 45, how many times can 30 go into 45? Well, it could go in one time. Or if that's too difficult for you, what you can do is you take this 3 goes into 4 one time. Okay, so I'm going to put my 1 over the 5, right, because we're doing 30 into 45, not 30 into 4. Then I times 1 times 30, and what I have here is 115. Bring down the 4. Now I'm going to think, okay, 30 into 154. Now that's difficult, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 3 and the 15, okay, because 3 can't go into 1, but 3 can go into 15. And it can go in 5 times. So I'm going to put a 5 up here, and when I multiply this out, 0 times 5 is, 5 times 0 is 0, and then 5 times 3 is 15. So I put 150 down here, then I subtract and I get a 4. So my remainder is 4. So right now we have 15 rows of 30, right? And then I have a remainder of 4 chairs. Does that make sense? All right, so our solution, it says down here, is the answer is 15, remainder 4. The quotient means there are 15 rows of 30 chairs and 1 row of 4 chairs. Okay. Example number 2. Mr. Gibson has a small grove of 18 young orange trees that produce 782 pounds of oranges this year. Estimate the average number of pounds produced by each tree. So we're gonna estimate this, okay? So we have to round up both the trees and the pounds. So 18 rounded up to the nearest 10 would be 20, and then 782 rounded up, we're gonna round this to the nearest 100, is 800, okay? So it's easier to divide using estimated numbers. So 20 goes into 800, we know is 40. Okay, so on average, each tree produced about 40 pounds of oranges. Okay, the key word here is about, which is an estimation. In example number 3, Taryn bought 10 bread rolls for $4.60. What was the cost of each roll? Okay, so we take $4.60 and we're going to divide it by 20 because there's 20 rolls. So we need to figure out how much each roll costs. And what you're going to do is you do 20 into 46. Remember, when you're dividing with a decimal, you place the decimal where it's supposed to be and you line it up. Okay, so 20 can't go into 4, but 20 can go into 46 twice. So 2 times 20 is 40. We subtract and we have a 6 left over. Then we bring down the 0. This, boys and girls, don't mind this right here. This 6 is supposed to be put over just a little bit. All right, so we ignore the decimal point when we're doing all this subtracting and all that. So 60 would be here, 6 would be here, and there's supposed to be 0 here. Now, how many 20s go into 60? Well, I know 2 times 3 equals 6, so I'm going to put a 3 up here. 3 times 20 equals 60, and we subtract and we get a 0. All right, so we add our decimal point to the quotient and our dollar sign, and we find that each roll costs 23 cents. All right. Now here's our lesson practice. Make sure you show your work. We want you guys to show your work so that we know where to fix it when we meet up, or if you get it wrong. Very important, make sure you line up your numbers. If you're going 30 into 42, remember you're not doing 30 into 4, you're doing 30 into 42. So you put your first part of your quotient answer right above the 2. And then you must line up your decimal. Your decimal has to line up with a decimal that's inside the quotient, or the dividend bar. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to write those questions on the back. And see you guys later. Have a great time doing your work. Talk to you soon.